Hey guys, it is Melissa with Dive Into Design, and today I'm going to show you how you can set up your very own InDesign document. This is a very basic, if you're just starting to get into InDesign, this is how you do it. So you're going to open your InDesign program from your Windows menu, then you're going to go to File, New, or you can use the shortcut Control-N, but you could also use this menu over here that says Create New. So we're going to click that. And then InDesign gives you a couple of options. So the first thing you're going to see is your recent items. If you haven't created any documents, you probably won't see any of these custom sizes here. You also have different saved documents. You can choose print, web, or mobile, and InDesign already has these set up for you. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go ahead and fill out these preset details. So I'm going to, in this first field over here where it says Untitled 1, I'm going to type in what I want my document name to be. So this will be sample. Then what you're going to do is you're going to set your width and your height of your document. Now, InDesign and designers use different tools of measurement for documents. So they measure in all these types of ways, but the one I'm most familiar with is inches. So I'm going to go ahead and click inches. It will go ahead and type in 8.5 by 11. If you'd like to change that, you can just click in there and type it to change the size that you want it to be. This will also change your orientation, so which way your page is going to go. The pages section is how many pages do you want? So for this, we'll do 3. And then facing pages essentially means, are you going to look at your document in a spread? So if I uncheck this, it's going to show me all my pages individually. If I click this, it will show me pages in facing spreads. So that means, like, if you were to open up a magazine and look at page 1 and page 2, they're right next to each other. That's considered a spread. Your start number is going to be 1. You can change this if, let's say, you're setting up a booklet and your pages start on number 3. That's a numbering system. Columns is essentially a divider for your page. So for this example, so you can see what columns look like, I'm going to say that we're going to have 2 different columns. And the gutter is what is the space between the columns. Margins. So let's go over margins real quick. If you're going to be using an at-home printer, I would suggest you use at least 1/4 or 1/2 inch margin depending on your printer. If you're using a printer that is more commercial or in an office, there's a good chance it could probably withstand an 1/8 of an inch margin. Also, 0.125 is also going to be your standard margin. If you're going to be sending something out to a printer, you can always use that. Next up is the bleed. So bleed is considered anything that runs off the edge of the paper. So I'll go over that a little bit more once we get into the document. And the standard for that is 0.125 inches. Now, another thing that you're going to see here is this link button. What this does is it essentially links all of your bleeds, marks, margins, slugs together. So if you want them all the same size, you can click this link button. If you want to change them and have them different sizes, you can unclick that. This slug is actually a feature that I've never used as a designer, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over that for now. You're going to go ahead and hit create, and this is what your InDesign document is going to look like. First, I'll go over some of the key points. This red line is what is called the bleed. So if we wanted our ink to run all the way off the paper, we would want to make sure that our artwork meets that red line. It needs to meet or extend that red line. The next thing we're going to talk about is this little purplish pink line here. That is your margin. So we have an 1/8 of an inch for a margin on this document, and you want to make sure all your text is inside the margins that you set to ensure that nothing important is cut off. And then finally here on this document, we have the 2 columns. So those are the 2 columns, and those are just a guide. These are all guidelines. They don't print on your paper when you print them. The final thing that I want to show you about this document, this is what is called facing pages. So you see how the two pages are facing each other? That means you're looking at a layout spread. And you can look at the pages here to see what page number and things like that. But you can also see your spreads here. And if you have a large document, you can always double click the page number you want to jump to, and InDesign will do that for you. So the final thing you'll want to do when you create a new document is you always want to save as. So for this, we're going to call it sample 1 and hit save. InDesign programs, you always want to save early and save often. Sometimes you're working with big artwork and it's very important for you to save early and save often. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell.